Forever an Infant Part 2. After her mother had been gone for 20 minutes, she approached her sister and nervously began her new big sister-like duties. Sis? Do you need to potty? Kelly looked at Jessica with a shocked expression. She was being asked just like a toddler. She did have to, but she shook her head. No. I'm fine. Jessica nodded and sat down with her on the couch. Soon, she heard a peeing sound and turned to see Kelly wetting herself on the couch. She moaned and suddenly all her nervousness vanished. Sis! You are wetting yourself again. Come with me. She took a surprised Kelly by the hand and led her upstairs. I'll help you take your wet pants off. She did so and got out a skirt and told Kelly to put it on. Now sis, please tell me if you need to use the potty, okay? I'll take you when mommy's not around. Kelly felt all at once like a very little child. She was inwardly bursting with happiness. The happiness only increased when she saw her mom bring in a package of Huggies training pants and told her to sit on the bed. She proceeded to pull off her panties and put on a pair of pink and white training pants. She was explaining why she was doing it and that she would let her go back to big girl underwear if she stayed dry. But Kelly didn't hear any of it. She was too happy. Over the next week, Kelly had multiple accidents. In fact, she rarely peed in the potty. She now ran around the house in just her pull-ups and a top like a toddler and started calling her sister Big Sis and her mom Mommy. Of course, her mother was concerned, but not as much as she would have thought. She liked having her little girl back, and besides, she seemed much happier. And Jessica was a terrific big sister. Recently, Kelly had been wanting to go play at the park. Her mother said no at first since she thought Kelly might be too big. But Kelly started to cry and her mother felt horrible. Jessica began to speak up on Kelly's behalf as well, and their mother finally relented. She figured it wouldn't hurt. That Friday, they went to the park. It was sunny and beautiful. Kelly was skipping along ahead, urging the others on. Jessica shook her head. Kids, she said with a sigh. Her mother couldn't help but laugh. Once there, Kelly began playing immediately. Jessica followed her around while their mother sat and watched. Jessica asked Kelly often if she needed to go, and it was always followed with a no. After a while, Jessica felt a tug and turned to see a blushing Kelly. Jessica knew immediately and put on her best big sister smile. Did you wet your training pants? Kelly looked down and nodded slowly. It's okay, lil sis, said Jessica. You can't help it. But I think you leaked a bit. Jessica pointed to the sand below where Kelly was sitting in the sandbox. It was a bit wet. Lucky you were wearing a skirt, huh sis? Kelly giggled and nodded. Kelly then realized that she had to poop. She wondered if she should use the training pants. That would earn her diapers for sure. But she decided to take it slow and just make it look like she realized and had an accident on the way to the potty. She put her plan into action. Jessica, I need to go poop. Jessica smiled and took her hand. Okay, come on sweetheart, I'll take you. She led Kelly toward the toilets. Suddenly she heard Kelly groan and let go of her hand. Sis, what's wrong? Kelly started the tears. Sis, I can't. She spread her legs a bit and squatted like a toddler would do and began to fill the training pants. Jessica knew what was going on and she couldn't find the words to say anything. She just stood there in shock as her sister pooped her pants like a baby. Afterward, Kelly fell to her knees crying her eyes out. Jessica snapped out of her state of shock and ran to comfort her sister. Already, the telltale odor of Kelly's accident was present. Sis. It's okay. Don't cry. I'm here. She hugged her sister tightly. Their mother ran over after seeing Kelly on the ground crying and soon got the story of what happened from Jessica. Oh honey. I don't know what I'm going to do with you. I had a feeling this might get worse though. Hey. Don't cry. You're my little girl and I love you. Come with me. Jessica, you too. Their mother took Kelly's hand and led her not into the ladies' bathroom, but into the baby changing area. There was no one in there and Kelly was soon laying on a changing table in her training pants. Now sweetie, I think you know what I'm going to do. You have shown that you need diapers again. This is not so much a punishment as for your own good. If you are going to wet this much and poop, the training pants won't do. Are you okay with this? Kelly nodded, trying to hold back her excitement. Okay then. Lift your legs up, sweetie. Kelly did as instructed and before she knew it she had a pacifier in her mouth. Her mother just smiled at her confused expression. It'll calm you down, is all she said. She ripped the sides of the training pants and pulled them out from under her daughter. Now Jessica, watch closely. You might have to change your sister, okay? Jessica nodded and her mother then pulled baby wipes and a Huggies diaper from a bag she was carrying. Now I know why she had it at least, thought Jessica. She cleaned off Kelly and put some baby powder on her as well. Kelly was about to protest how babyish she smelled but her mother saw it coming and put a finger to her mouth to signify silence. Just calm down, Angel. Don't worry about a thing. She then slid the diaper under her, bringing the front up and fastening the tapes. Kelly felt incredibly babyish. Laying there in a diaper. Her mother patted the diapered area affectionately. All done, sweetheart. Now you go play with your sister. And I don't want to hear a word about your diaper showing. Your skirt should cover it and besides, you look cute. And you obviously are my cute little toddler again. Kelly's mother smirked and indicated the waste bin the dirty training pants were thrown into. Before Kelly said anything, Jessica grabbed her hand and led her out of the changing room to the playground. Their mother just stood there smiling. Kelly remembered to take the pacifier out of her mouth just as Jessica threw open the changing room door. Close call, that one, Kelly thought with a sigh. Jessica was now even more protective and watchful of her sister. She noticed Kelly didn't seem to mind the diaper. It didn't show unless you knew what you were looking for with her skirt on. Even if it was bulkier than the training pants. She played with her sister and seemed to be loving it. She was very self-conscious about her diaper despite all of this. She tried to sit for as long as she could, since the skirt covered the diaper better than when she did have to stand. She always made sure to hold her skirt down in case any random gust of wind would come by. Her sister and her mother noticed that it decreased her enjoyment too much. Jessica tried to make her lighten up and her mother thought of ways to make her daughter feel more natural in her diapers. All her mother wanted was for her girls to be happy. If Kelly wanted to be her little one again, so be it. But she would not let Kelly take it partway. This was not to embarrass her, just to make her the happiest she could be. And at this moment, Kelly's fear of embarrassment was taking away from the fun she should be having. She watched her children and continued to think. Meanwhile, Jessica was coaxing Kelly down the slide. Come on, Kelly. It'll be fun. Trust your big sister. I'll catch you at the bottom. Jessica was standing at the bottom of the slide with her arms open. As you would do with a young child to make sure they didn't get hurt, and Kelly was at the top. She giggled a little and blushed at being called the little sister. But Jessica. What if someone sees? Kelly indicated her diaper area to her sister since lots of people were around and she didn't want to broadcast that she was in diapers. She was holding up the line and despite trying to hide her diapers, she still looked like a scared young child afraid to go down the slide. Oh, sweetie. It's okay. I promise it'll be okay. Kelly finally nodded and sat down. She put both hands on her skirt and clutched the end down and was about to go when an aggravated little boy from behind her pushed her saying, "Stop being a baby and go already." She moved her hands because of suddenly being pushed forward and the skirt flipped up as she slid down. Her sister caught her and saw that her eyes were wet and that she was about to cry. It's okay, no one saw your diaper, sis. Don't cry. Everyone was watching their own kids. Kelly shook her head and said, I know, but I was just scared 'cause that meanie boy pushed me. Kelly clung tighter to Jessica and cried. Jessica was confused. Her sister had suddenly begun to act younger. She could tell by her word choice and the fact that she was hugging her tightly and crying. Despite this, Jessica suddenly felt very much like the older sister and was outraged that someone would do that to her little sister. She walked Kelly over to their mother and once she was secured, went over to the boy that pushed her. Why did you do that? You could have hurt her. The boy looked at Jessica and frowned. Huh? Do you mean that baby on the slide? She deserved it. She was holding up the line. Jessica got even angrier. That's so mean to say. So what if she was scared? She's only little. I'll bet you got scared too when you were little. You probably wet your pants on the way down. The boy turned red because his friends were listening and started making fun of him, asking if he was wearing diapers. He ran away crying and Jessica smiled and walked back to her sister and mother. Kelly was in her mother's lap being cuddled. My poor little angel. Are you okay? Does anything hurt, honey? Kelly shook her head no and snuggled closer to her mother. Kelly's mother noticed as Jessica did that Kelly was acting much younger. Maybe it was the shock of being pushed along with everything else that happened today. Either way, she enjoyed having her little girl back. She used to cuddle Kelly like she was now all the time. You wanna go play more? Kelly again shook her head no and buried her head into her mother. She was obviously scared. Her mother suddenly noticed her leg was getting warm. She realized that she had Kelly's diaper sitting on it and that she was wetting it. She thought she would be finished soon but she kept going. Must have been all those juice boxes she drank while she was playing. Soon, her mother felt something wet. She put Kelly on the ground and got up in shock. Her daughter's diaper was leaking. Kelly knew it too and stood there crying as pee ran down her leg and onto the ground. Kelly's mother took a baby wipe from the bag she was carrying and wiped her leg off and then tried to calm her daughter down. Jessica was there as well and hugged her sister, telling her that it wasn't her fault. The diaper just didn't hold. Kelly's mother took her hand and led the crying girl away from the staring eyes at the park. Oh sweetie. I'm so sorry. I should have known those diapers wouldn't hold that much. It's my fault. Kelly settled down a bit and wiped off her eyes. She said that it was okay and hugged her mother. Her mother found a more isolated spot in the park and laid out a towel she had in the bag. She then laid Kelly back and took off the now wet skirt and put it to the side. Ignoring the protests she got. She told Kelly that it didn't matter now. Everyone knew she was wearing diapers. And began to change her into dry Huggies. Since her skirt was wet, her mother said that she would have to walk home in just the diaper. She put the pacifier in Kelly's mouth and smiled. Suck on this sweetly and look innocent. That way we'll just tell people that you are going to a costume party, okay? Kelly blushed but nodded. They headed home and made it without incident. The only thing they got was compliments. Everyone thought Kelly looked adorable and that she could look even better in a more childish top to complete the costume.